Good morning. Today is Saturday, and Saturday is governed by Saturn. Look at these peonies. These are my favorite. Oh my God, they're so beautiful. I like to get flowers just, as often as I can to just sort of bring life and love into my space, and especially from my altar. Altars are beautiful with flowers. I used to date a man who was a florist, and I just loved him because, like, who wouldn't love a florist? But there was something about his personality. One of the things astrology is really helpful with is relationships and how we relate to one another. And this man that I was seeing at the time, he was a Libra, which is all about beauty and balance and order. And he was a Libra, and then he had a Taurus moon. So he had this extraordinarily sensual nature that consumed him and anybody else who was in his space. And so flowers and art and all of those sort of things were just extraordinarily compelling to him and to anyone, and he's always pouring wine and cooking and all that sort of stuff. And when I started to study astrology and looked at his chart, I was like, oh, this explains it. And as I'm sorry, I'm gonna pour myself some tea. As the moon is in Libra today, we have Libra is where our relationships to the other come into place, and really recognizing how we are in power with others. One of the great experiences that I have had in my life is I've always been the kind of woman who at the time also was a girl who was boy crazy. Like, I've always been very compelled by relationship, and some of it out of my womb, not having a father, some of it just out of my own sexual nature, which is very, high and desirous. And but then that was complicated by my relationship with my mother and her being a prostitute. But I think a lot of women can relate to having a lot of desirous energy. It's just sort of the way we're made. We're made to be that way. Like, it's because we're filtering cosmic energy through us in order to give birth, right? So, they call that biology, they call that a woman's clock, but really what it is just energy. It's just energy, and you can use it to create anything you want. I, for the first 40 years of my life, used my energy, my attention. If you see, where you put where you put your attention is your point of creation. So just not understanding how to use my energy, my sexual energy, my power, my connection to others, will put my attention on men and just be in this constant state of suffering around not really having my needs met, what I really wanted. Because like a lot of women, we filter so much power and energy through our bodies, through our desire, through our capacity to create, that no man can really match that. Like, he's like, baby, I got 15 minutes for you. On a good night, I got 2 hours for you, or maybe I got 12 hours for you. But he's gonna have to go away and do something else, because that's just the nature of being human, right? We're not connected to one another. But as women, some of us are so desirous that, we just desire beyond anything that we can even understand, right? And I've been working with a number of women who have Pluto conjunct the moon. I have Pluto conjunct the sun. And that's like a deep transformational power. Like, it creates an engine inside of you, a hunger that can never be quenched. And so, a lot of us will be boy crazy. And so I have had that boy crazy experience in my life where a man comes into my world and I lose myself, and I almost become him. I desire him. I dream of him. All I can do is think of him. I can't work. I can't do anything. And I, in the last few years, have had to retrain myself. I really figured it out one day. I really was like, I have not given myself one opportunity to really put myself first, to really make me be the center of my reality. And when I started to understand energy and how it worked, I realized that, the person that I'm thinking about, the person that I'm desiring and wanting, I actually am giving them all of my power. So if I could begin to refocus my energy and think about, making money and building a business and, having my son be really happy and thriving in school and feeling good inside of my body. If I could realize that the point of attention should be me and not a man, then I can actually create the life that I really desire and then magnetize men easily because I'm not requiring them to fill the void that is that black hole that is a woman. Many of us, we know, you know what I'm talking about, ladies. Like, I know I have spent, like, I could meet a man and my whole world could be just, snatched away for 2 years of desire and thinking and wanting. And I remember when I got married, the man that I married, I won't name him here, but I wanted him, so I chased him. And what I realized in my chasing of him was that I was running from something. I was really running from me. I was really running from my own power. I was really running from my ability to know myself more deeply and fully. And in the running, I had to have a goal, and a man would be the goal. And so my husband was the goal. And when we were getting married, when we were actually saying our vows, his mother was marrying us. His mother was a minister. I remember thinking, this is not the thing that you wanted. You think this is it, but it's not. And I realized in that moment that I was a chaser, that I was really running from something, that it was the chase that really was compelling to me and not the actual victory. And so I had to shift that. And, we were married for 7 years. And after that, I really got clear that I never wanted to do that again because it was born out of a wound and not out of a clear understanding of who I am and how I relate best with men. And what I learned after that is that I really am not monogamous. I'm not a monogamous woman. My desire is like furious, but there is not one person that could hold it for me. And the reality is that what I discovered is that really my desire for to be myself is more than my desire for love. My desire to really be who I'm here to be is more than a desire to have a partner. And so now partnership comes much easier to me. And I still am boy crazy. Oh my God, I'm so boy crazy. Because the energy of our sexuality and our sensuality compels us towards something to connect to, right? And so now I work, because I know that I'm a creator. My work is on creating my business and helping people who I'm coaching create their realities so that I don't focus it on one person and overwhelm them and burn them out, because really not one person can do what it is that I desire. So it's not possible. So I'm more polyamorous, and that suits me because I don't have to put all my weight on one person, all my energetic weight on one person with the expectation for them to be something that they couldn't be anyway. So ladies, if you are interested in learning how to use your energy and direct it in a way that will work better for you and get you what you really want, come work with me. But then also, if you want to understand your relationships to the men in your life, right, who they are, if you can get their birth time and their birth date, come let me look at their charts, because it's so fascinating to see who they are. And then you get to give them permission to be themselves. When you see who they are and you see, so many women, how come he's not this and how come he's not that? I look at their chart, because he's not made that way. That's why he's not that. It's like, the one I was telling you about, who was the florist, like he needs a lot of women in his life. He needs a lot of attention from a lot of women. And when I started to understand that about him, it didn't bother me anymore. Like, I got it. I was like, okay, do you? I get it. And so the more we can understand ourselves, our charts, how we work, our sexuality, our sexual nature, our romantic nature, our work ethic, all of that sort of stuff, the better off we are in our lives. So with that, today the moon is in Libra. Just see how you relate to others. What's going on? What's running you? How's your sexuality running? And then come work with me. Peace and blessings, everyone. I'm the Moon Mama. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.